Good morning, Mr. D. Raju. We welcome you to the SSMB interview. So,
Good
first
morning.
question is Kirby is a pioneer in pre engineered buildings. Since inception, how has been your journey so far?
It's an amazing journey for the last 21 years. We bought this technology in 99 to India, having already led the PEB industry for over 25 years in Middle East. So we bought this technology in 99 with a plant in Hyderabad. We started with uh, a very small capacity of 40,000 tons per annum capacity in Hyderabad. Then it grew into several expansion plans, and it has reached to 100,000 tons. And in order to serve our customers in the northern and western segment region more effectively, we have gone with another expansion. We have put up another plant in Haridwar that also started with similarly about 40,000 tons per annum capacity, and it grew in very short time to 100,000 tons. So Kirby today started with something like about 40,000 tons per annum capacity in year 2000, and now it is with 200,000 tons per annum capacity. So the journey has been very amazing. And when we brought this technology to India, so this technology was pretty new. It was not very popular in India. While it is in Middle East and in America, it is very, very popular and the product for use in industrial and warehousing construction. So what we did is that we were always facing something like not a resistance, but something like a change, because traditionally for decades and decades, India used for a typical steel construction of a site fabricated structures using hot rolled angles, channels, and this kind of a thing being site fabricated and erected by one agency, fabricated by one agency like this. And sheeting used to be some another agency. So it used to be all this. From that change to something like a single source responsibility and completely making the structures right from engineering to fabrication all in the plant was a big change. So we had conducted a lot of technical sessions, awareness sessions among all the consultants, architects, then project managers, customers. So they understood the benefits, that is how this technology will come with a high quality product and how their projects would be done in time. So understanding this, that is the way this product has become something like very, very acceptable in the industry. And Kirby has become something like a generic name in the industry. If someone is looking for a PEB, we feel proud that they'll say that, yeah, is it Kirby, like that. So it has been a wonderful journey for the last 20 years plus.
The next question is according to you, what is the current construction scenario and the upcoming trends in India with respect to steel construction?
Yeah, construction industry per se, it basically has infrastructure, then real estate, housing, and even industrial construction, and which is a very, very large spectrum by itself and contributes to close to something like about 9% of GDP. So it's very, very important. The construction sector is very important. It also employs huge amount of employment, labors and workforce into the industry. So the construction sector previously used to be, as I said, it used to be something like inside to fabricated kind of structures, whether it is in steel or even in concrete also, it used to be mostly inside. So with the technological advances that has happened and is happening, so high quality kind of a construction is being embraced, and then new type of construction like pre-engineered buildings, prefabricated buildings, and then even per se in other structures like infrastructures and all that. So this construction is mostly into something like a prefabricated and pre-engineered buildings. So that is what the people are embracing, understanding the benefits out of it and understanding the high quality it comes. And more importantly is how the projects could be executed in time. Previously in the construction industry, the biggest problem used to be project overruns. Okay, so Previously, the projects always used to have overruns in both time and cost. So with this advent of new technology like PEBs and prefabricated buildings, the projects are coming in time. A project which used to take about 1.5 to 2 years is getting less than in about a year. And that 1.5 year used to be going for more times, whereas they are definite about project implementations. So construction technology is embracing these kind of products. So that is what I'm observing. And in addition to that, even the engineering part, okay, has taken a lot of advances. Previously, it used to be something like only steel as a steel structure, concrete as a concrete structure. So people are embracing new things. For example, if I go into high-rise buildings, it is very clear that knowing the advances that has happened in the steel, concrete, composite technology. So as a composite construction for the high rises and all that, people understood, and we are seeing a lot of people are coming with, including Kirby, who have done a lot of projects of high rise of 21, 22-story building using this technology. So technology is being embraced in the construction industry with all new project management kind of things also being done. That is what I'm saying in basically the construction sector is undergoing through.
What are the key challenges faced by a PV industry today, and how do we plan to overcome it?
The main industry, the main challenge that we are facing for a very long time in the initial period, as I said, was the awareness of the product. So now, after these 20 years with Kirby leading the front and many others also who have come, I'm saying that the awareness has completely penetrated into the private sector, definitely into industrial construction and the warehousing construction. But I think in a lot of potential and demand is there in public sector and the government spend. So I think as an industry, instead of only working for a specified demand and with more of a suppliers coming into, we should all work for increasing the demand and also gear up ourselves to these technological changes that is happening. And second one is, of course, the steel industry has been facing these days for the last about 6 months is the steel prices, the raw material prices, which has shot up something like about 40–50%. So that has definitely dent the speedy implementation of the projects, specifically in the infrastructure sectors and other capex related projects. So we are looking forward for something like a government support in such a way that they give more preference that these domestic steel suppliers, instead of exporting more, they should also support the local industries by supplying the steel at an economical price. This is the second challenge. And third challenge that we are facing, as I said, is the skill sets. Okay, these days we are seeing in all functions, whether it is in manufacturing, whether more than that in engineering, in the design and engineering field, and in the construction field, the skill sets have to be continuously updated with the technology that is happening. So we are working very seriously with a lot of even educational institutions, that the people are coming with good qualifications, but they are not really updated. They are still told about the old conventional fabricated structures and conventional concrete construction, those kind of things. Whereas the technology has changed. When they come to for work, they are not updated about what is being done. So we are working with educational institutions like NITs and other engineering colleges, and planning to work with them to see that a good course as an optional course is indicated, so that they are updated about this, so that they'll come employability ready kind of things like that when they come for the job. And also continuous improvement of the workmen for doing the jobs more safely at job site, and because job safety at job sites and safety at the workplace also has become very, very important these days. So we are also seeing that all our builders, erectors, and everyone is continuously updated about the high quality quality and safety standards. I think these are the things that are challenges. It's not challenges, but something like as a must-do kind of a things we have to do in the industry, which we as a leading player continuously do that.
Right. Next is which are your key customer focus segments and how are you different from competitors?
See, with something like over 20 years of completion, we have really done in each and every segment, and we have maintained our leadership in this industry. In every segment, you talk about a segment from market point of view, or segment from customers' point of view, who's who of the businesses we have done in India. So, but I must say that in every segment, we have showcased ourselves that we can expand. This technology is acceptable. Previously, it used to be only for something like warehouses and factory buildings. And now we have shown that it can be used for high-rise buildings, it can be used for high, complicated, heavy fabricated structures like steel plants and power plants. People were not even imagining that a 500-ton crane can be supported by a PEB technology. So we have done for many power plants where a 500-ton crane was supported, and we have done shipyards. Then infrastructure projects like that was not a big focus earlier. Knowing the importance of the infrastructure growth that we are seeing, so we were the first people to really embrace that. No, PEB means it is not standard, but we can also customize to the requirements. When Delhi Metro was planned in the early 2000 kind of things like that, we were the first people to give about 24 stations using a curved rafter technology there with a lot of elliptical holes like that. That particular technology was very highly appreciated, and then we did Bangalore Metro, then we did Hyderabad Metro, like that. So infrastructure, then power plants, and then name it, that there is no application which is not done. But I must say, in today's this particular thing, PEB is used in almost all the construction segments. But main important segments, if you are asking me in today's this particular thing, is industrial structures and warehouses. And in warehouses also, the e-commerce business, which is growing, the online e-commerce business, which is growing, like with Amazon, Flipkart, and all other people. We are working with them in most of their projects. That is another segment which is seeing post GST 2017. The warehousing segment is really growing at a very high growth year on year. So that is another segment which is of high focus. But if you are asking about Kirby, how it is different from others, I can say that we have two large manufacturing facilities of 100,000 tons each. So whenever a customer is looking for any requirement, we have the flexibility to supply from both of our large manufacturing plants. And we are known for our engineering capabilities, having been in this business for close to 45 years, 25 years in Middle East, and 20 years in India. And we are known as something like a very reliable partner, that customers' requirements are taken very, very seriously, and we work on that. Almost like and we have an enviable builders network of close to 130 certified builders who work with us in executing the projects at sites all over India. So our strong manufacturing capabilities, the huge capacity, and our strong engineering capability with the COE, Center of Engineering Excellence, which we established here in Hyderabad in India, which gives the engineering services to all our global plants across. And another is our execution capabilities. With these three things, we have been able to retain our leadership in the industry for the last 21 years. And more so, I'm happy to say that about 2/3 of our business comes from repeat customers, repeat clients. So that itself is a testimonial that how customer loyalty towards our brand is the services there.
Right. What is your take on on-site structures vis-a-vis factory fabricated structures?
See, on-site structures, primarily, still people are using in some of very large steel plants and that kind of structures. But I must say that generally, typically on-site structures requires lot of work at the job site, and there is not much of a quality control because you have to really have a large workforce to ensure a quality control for the structures being done. And it runs into a lot of delays because at the site that organized facilities will not be there, and it requires huge amount of natural resources like water, power, everything at the job site. So all these things particular are not required when you go for a off-site or a fabricated structures or the prefabricated structures. While the civil and other structures are being simultaneously done at the job site, we will be doing all the steel structures that are required at our plant. So when their foundations are ready, the structures are already coming to the site for ready for erection. So this is a great advantage. One is in the prefabricated structures, the structures come with a high quality because it is fabricated in the plant using high strength material and high quality material. So there's no doubt on the quality of the material. And other thing is it comes with complete mechano kind of a set, in the sense is using nuts and bolts kind of a construction. So very easy to assemble and erect, and it ensures a faster completion. So with this way, the clients can save money, time, and implement their projects in time. So that's the way on-site to off-site construction, the switch or the trend is going on now, the entire construction industry.
Okay. So the new normal is what is right now in trend. So how is Kirby's approach to the new normal?
Yeah, it has, like any other industry, we are also affected because we are primarily, say, Kirby is basically a manufacturing and construction industry. So naturally, when the COVID, the world's strictest lockdown was implemented in India for about close to 45, 50 days, then our plants were also closed for about close to 2 months. And also bigger, we appreciated that because people's safety is more important than something like running factories. So, but I must say that we have taken enough care. Once the plants have started running in phases, then a lot of health safety measures were implemented, both inside the plant and in the job sites. So it has definitely taught all the people how to be something like not only do the job from physical safety point of view, but from some health point of view, how we have to behave. So that has been taught. But what we learned is definitely this new normal has taught us is that how we can be more effective digitally or virtually also. So we have been, I must say, almost from July, August onwards, we have sprung back to normalcy. Both our plants are running at a good capacity, and our job sites are also fully running at the job sites by implementing all the safety methods. And so I must say that we are now made this new normal as work life itself, that this is the way to operate. And with vaccination coming, it has already been is under implementation. The confidence level of the people also has come up better. So I'm sure that the things are going to be better. But digitally, I think we have done a lot of work as how we can keep our customer informed about what is happening and how we can have a continuous meeting with our people. But what we could not avoid is the job work at site. Okay, that cannot be done digital, except some monitoring was more done from the head office kind of things. But implementing some good safety systems at the job site, now it has become almost like a normal way of working.
Yes, we are also hopeful that things become fine at the earliest. So, being the first company to introduce PB technology in the Middle East and India, how is their PB industry different from us?
See, PVs were introduced much early in Middle East. Okay, so something like early 70s, we bought this technology in Middle East in GCC. So from then on, the people have used, so it is more something like a common to use PEBs in Middle East compared to India. But I must say that India has surpassed even the Middle East because I head the global operations. I see that how India is doing and how my other Middle East is doing. While both are doing well, but India has surpassed. The reason being that India is a very large economy and India's infrastructure spend is very high and India's manufacturing spend is also very high. So when you compare, what is the difference between both of that? So mostly the Gulf or the GCC or the Middle East being something like more of a trading economy, where a lot of trade takes place. So a lot of warehouses, then malls, these kind of things are more as compared to the factories and all that happens in India. So I must say that we have done more complicated structures and in India than this. And now with this technology being accepted more widely in India, so I think we are going to see much more growth in India relatively. I'm seeing that the government is also giving a lot of trust as how we can increase the steel consumption in India because whatever we say, the steel consumption in India is one of probably lowest. It is at about 74 kg per capita compared to world average of about 224. And if you take it China, it is almost touching to 600 kg. So we are nowhere. So, but instead of thinking we are nowhere, there is a lot of potential to grow. So government is also working and encouraging the steel usage in the construction. So we as a responsible manufacturer also thinking of how we can not only think of this industrial and factories kind of things like that, but how we can use this technology into new things like airport terminals, like railway structures, high-rise buildings, and even for residential buildings. We have done a few of the residential buildings, even in something like a Srinagar area. We have done a multi-storied residential building, and we have done close to about 8 to 10 marquee structures in high-rise buildings. So if we increase the steel consumption, in addition to these industrial construction that we also go into office construction, residential construction, infrastructure projects, I think steel consumption will increase and steel is recyclable and steel is a sustainable green material. So I think a lot of advantages are there as a responsibility to our environment also. So definitely this is what I foresee that we must use more steel going forward.
So, in addition to this question, so what according to you should be the strategy that should be adopted to promote structural steel construction in India?
Yeah, in continuity to what I was speaking, that steel, I say, has a huge potential. So it has to grow multiple times. Steel can be used in versatile, it can be used in any type of construction. So we have to find that this steel gets usaged as a policy itself, because government spend is always much higher than the private spend. So government must encourage usage of the steel in their projects, okay, in infrastructure projects and in other projects, which government is really encouraging, because we are seeing that, for example, if a railway structures are coming, they are coming up with PEB as the specifications. If some even government warehouse tenders are coming with the PEB technology, which used to be conventional. So if both private and government sector are working towards understanding this technology, and the PEB manufacturers, consultants work together in introducing some more advances that have happened in US, UK like that. If we bring those technologies, India is a huge market and huge potential. So I think government, education institutions, then responsible companies like Kirby, PEB and other PEB manufacturers and consultants and contractors all work together in introducing this technology more, then that is what I see as an enabler for the growth. And second point is that compared to American and European standards, there must be something like a code of practice coming with this advanced steel construction technologies like PEBs and all that. Then the specific, once the codes itself will come from the Bureau of Indian Standards and government, then the acceptance will be more wider and will be more easier. So this is what we are also working as how we can come out with code of practice like what is there in US and other places.
So, what are your current priorities and your action plans to achieve them?
I could get your question.
What are your current priorities and action plan to achieve them?
Yeah, as I said, we already started a separate focus on this particular thing. For example, we have put a separate team to work on how we can bring something like a good standards that can be worked with some education institutions and Bureau of Indian Standards to get a code of practice. And not only we, along with some other important players in the industry, we wanted to bring a code of practice for our steel buildings, the PEB, into the industry. And second is, we are also working more. We have created a separate verticals and all that, and for using of this particular technology to other new areas like high-rise buildings and residential buildings and infrastructure projects like that. So, and the other thing is the technology development. We are also bringing something like a new software, like using the technology of even AI and augmented reality and artificial intelligence and IoT kind of things are changing the construction spectrum as how we handle the jobs. So, but embracing this new technology, people should embrace this new technology. Construction also can embrace this technology. And we are working in these areas to see that we are different from the others and we differentiate in our customer service to others so that we can grow more faster. And other thing is that I must also say that while we are having a plant in Hyderabad serving mostly south and some part of the west, and I have another plant in Haridwar serving north and east. Western India is a very big market, so as a strategic growth driver, we are also planning to implement in about next 1.5 year, one more plant in Western India. So that is an advanced stage.
That's good. So my last question to you, sir, what message would you like to give our readers?
See, steel is a wonderful material and steel is an amazing material. It is versatile, it is green, and it is a sustainable material. And it can be used for any kind of application and it can take any shape and form. So I think all architects, consultants, if they maximize the use, then we also can play a role along with them that what they design we can manufacture and supply and install. So the construction companies and PEB companies, architect consultants, together if you work, then we can take the product of a good product to the customers. And another thing is that we are also responsible for our environment that we work for. So it is important that we promote this green building technology because steel is completely recyclable and steel can be used in any form. So all of us, if we are working together, I'm sure that we can contribute significantly for the growth of our economy. I think steel is a great material we must all use.
That's it, sir. Thank you so much.